I'm Sara Francesca, and in this video I'm going to show you how, on the computer, we're going to go together. I'm going to show you how to read your astrocartography chart, how to get it online for free. Now, there is a difference between reading it for free and having an astrologer doing it for you, having a coach doing it for you. Also, I teach a course on astrocartography, so of course you can get a much in-depth experience through the course, but there is an online tool that not so many people know about where you can actually read your astrocartography. So I'm going to teach you how to do just that. Hi, so here we go, how to see your astrocartography map online. This is the free online tool not so many people know about, so let's see how you do it. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to teach you step by step. If you want in the meanwhile to open your computer, it's the best way to do it. You can do it from your phone, but you're not going to see that much. So I suggest that you do it from a computer because you need a bigger screen. This is where we're going. We're going to this website, astro.com. There may be other ways to do it, but this is the one I know of, and this is the reliable one. So the first thing you want to do is you go to search button over here, right on the right-hand side, and you put in Astro click travel. Then you say enter, and this is exactly what you want to click on. Astro click travel, the first one. Okay, so once you get to this page, you will be prompted to either enter your birth data and create a user profile. I do have a user profile as well, so let's see if I can get in. And we are in. So this is a free tool, so you can see a lot of advertising depending on what country you're tuning in from, but it doesn't matter. It's still doing its job. So basically here, there is already my map calculated, but what you want to do, you want to go here. Well, this is a few clients had lately, but you want to go on add and to calculate yours and put your first name, your last name, blah, 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 blah. You put your gender if you want, you put your birth data to calculate your astrocartography chart. So the map of where these magical places on Earth are for you, you would need to know your birth date, your birth time, so the time you were born, and the city where you were born. And you will need this data also for all the people you want to calculate this chart for, because those data are related to your natal chart in astrology, then it's related to your astrocartography map. And then you click on go, and basically you just get this one. So here, when you go inside this tool, this is my my personal astrocartography map. And so here, this is scalable map. So you have here on the left side, you can see 2,000 kilometers. This is the distance on the map. And it is important because there is a specific distance at which every line affects the Earth. So it's not only where the line passes, but there is a specific distance where this affects the length this line is going on. So if you want to know more about this, you can buy my course and see all the details. Also, when you do my course on astrocartography, you're going to be able to learn with much more confidence how to read the map, how to interpret it, and to interpret it for your clients too, in case you're a coach or a counselor or you have many friends, or you want to do this, you want to learn this as a new skill. You don't need to be an astrologer. You don't need to be, well, of course, I suppose you're interested in knowing more about subtle energies and planets and placements and stuff. But personally, I don't know that much about astrology, but still I can teach astrocartography, and I teach it at a basic level what everybody can understand. And I think that like everybody knows what the star sign is, everybody should know about the astrocartography map, because today we live in a world where we have so much opportunities to travel, to relocate, to go abroad, to be digital nomads. And also we want to use our time and our resources, our money, in the better way on Earth. So I met in my travels, I traveled extensively in my life, and I met so many people who are just traveling around, not really knowing what they're doing. Well, if you know your astrocartography, you know which places are important for what. So here I'm not going to explain to you what these represent, but I want to show you that on this free tool, while you have your astrocartography map all for free, if you click, for example, here, let's click on this line, okay? And then you see that on the right hand, this has changed, and you see that I have some information. So I click on the planet. It says, this is Mercury. Mercury assumes a special place among the planets in mythology, blah, blah, blah. And it talks about the energy of Mercury. So inside the tool, even if you haven't done my course, even if you don't know much about astrology, you can still get some information through the tool itself. And I repeat, this is a free tool. Then you click on MC, for example, and it explains to you what it means. It means that MC is medium stellium. What does it mean? It responds to that point where the sun is culminating. It exerts its strongest influence and throws the smallest shadow, blah, 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 okay? So it explains to you what it's for. In the course of astrocartography, we're going to cover the 4 aspects of which each planet can influence the map. There are 4 different ways. It's like the same planet, but it has influence in different areas. So some areas, depending on how the stellium is, how the heaven is, it can influence more of your public relationship, more of your career, more of your internal relationship, more of your family. It depends. So it's interesting to see that. And then also in this free tool, what you can see is when you click on the line, it is gonna tell you exactly what this line is about. It says more beneficial on the west side of the line, and it says being in this region helps you become more clear and matter of fact. This is especially helpful when you are involved in tricky negotiations or have to approach the public. Now, why is it more helpful when you have to approach the public when you're involved in tricky negotiations? It's easier to say. It's because Mercury is related to communication. So of course, if we know anything about the planet Mercury, we can now interpret how we're going to feel on that line. And now to see which places are going to helpful for you for tricky negotiations, you're going to follow the line. And in this specific case, if I'm going to zoom it up, it's a scalable map. If I'm going to zoom it up, well, all of this is like in the middle of the ocean, so probably I'm not going to go there unless I go on these little islands over here. Papua New Guinea, that's where I can go to get this effect for myself, or actually I can go here. So right in Australia, on top of Australia, we have on the east side of Australia, we have this. When you see this bubble here, this is the zenith. So this is the point where the line is most effective at all, where you have the most influence of this energy on you. Now, another thing, this is close to Cairns. You can see it here. Of course, these descriptions are standards. They're not the same as you interpreting your map. So what you learn in the course is interpreting the map. And what you learn in the course is actually applying this knowledge to your specific case and a lot of other information about astrocartography, which are historical, its origin, and also how can we work with it when we cannot travel or when we cannot possibly travel to all these places, but how we can work with the energy from a subtle level, how can we bring the energy of a place to where we are, what we do when the line are crossing, or how to pick the right place for you, because there are so many places. So how to interpret also the energy of the planets. We see all of that inside the course, the online course. This is the free tool, and I want to share with you because it's online. You may not know about this, but it has some limitations because you are missing out on the knowledge that would actually tell you how to implement this map in your life. And until you don't have that knowledge, you're just going to have a bunch of information that like you can lose your whole week reading this map, and it will left you feeling overwhelmed and with a lot of information that you can't really relate to, and you don't really know how to take next steps. Also, in the live course, there is a monthly live mentoring. So the course is pre-recorded because I recorded once and it's there and you can just access it, but we have a live mentoring. So you can come in with your map and ask me your questions, or if you have any questions about the course, or if you have any questions about your personal map, I can truly help you and address the right things that you need to look at. So whether you want to go to a place where to find love, to find your community, to feel at home, to feel good, to heal, to enhance your spiritual journey, to find the money, we can see all of that together and we can see how that plays out in your specific case, because of course this relates as well as our personal natal chart. Another thing I want to show you before I close this tutorial here is that this is scalable. So you can, when you're inside the software, you can zoom it up and zoom it down. Now, if you want to print it out, for example, you have to print it out by areas. So now I'm going to click on Africa, and then this tool is going to change it for me. Oh, I need to click on go, sorry. I need to click on go. And now Yes, and now it's working, and now it's loading up, and this is Africa. So basically, when I have this one here, I have my astrocartography, but it is only in Africa. So this one is something I can, you see, right click and save image as, and then I can save it, Astro Africa, and then I can save it, Astro Africa, and this is how I have then down in on my computer. Well, you can't see it right now, but I have this image that I can print out. So the scalable map you cannot download, but you can download all the specifics of different parts of the world, depending on where you are, or depending what it's more interesting for you, depending which planets you are looking at. Okay. For today's tutorial, it's done. Can't recommend enough for you if you're interested in understanding how to live in your magic place on Earth. Now, this is really, really interesting because when I became interested in astrocartography, personally, I was not sure if I could trust it that much. And of course, it always works with your mindset, right? So if you have the right mindset, if you have the right heart set, as I say, then it will work for you much better. But astrocartography, it's such a great tool for sensitive people because we are so sensitive to our environment. And so what happens with astrocartography is that we are so sensitive to the energy of the environment we are in, we are on. Even if we don't want that, it affects us. And I have countless clients I've done readings for. When they know about the astrocartography, they all go like, oh, this is how. Oh, wow, this is why I have this and this issue with my husband here. But when we moved our house and we went over there, actually we solved all of our communication problems. Or, oh, now I understand why it's been so hard for me with this job right here, because I had the Chiron line and I had to go through all of my learnings and healing in inner teachings, not to say shadows. This is why it's so hard for me here. Now, once you have that information, you can decide what to do with your life. But if you don't have that, you keep thinking that it might depend on you. It might be some self-sabotage. It might be that you're not good enough, not easy enough, like not doing it right. So astrocartography is really, really good because it gives you so many answers to things you've always wondered about, especially then if you like to travel, if you're a digital nomad, if you're thinking about relocating, if you're tired of where you are and things are not working out, if you want to know, if you have some money and you want to invest in a big trip, or like the other day I was talking to somebody, my client, he wants to go and live abroad. And how do you choose where to live abroad when you don't know about where the stars are going to help you? On the other hand, I can say that at the beginning I was not really believing in this tool, but after trying it, and I have a longer YouTube video you can watch about this, where I tell you step by step what was my experience, my personal experience with astrocartography, how I went from being very unhappy, I finding life so difficult, really, to just changing place. And I was the same person. I mean, maybe changed a little bit, of course. I will always go through challenges, but I am the same essence. But here, my essence is sustained where I am at the moment. It's supported, and life flows in so easily. I feel so lucky. I'm really so supported, and I've activated this infinite opportunities. We all can all do that. It's all about mindset, but astrocartography helps a lot. I'm just sharing this because I'm really passionate about people feeling well, and especially empath people and sensitive people getting the best out of their sensitivity. We have this knowledge. Let's use it. Let's apply. Let's be curious about that. If you want to learn more about it, check out the course, which is in the description of this video. And if you want to try to walk around with your own astrocartography map, you're free to follow this tutorial and see if you can start getting some information. Like if you've never done this before, it's going to be a bit overwhelming. You're not going to have everything clear. And also you want to take what resonates and leave out what it doesn't. Enjoy.